Hello, it's Kerry from Mobilates. Good afternoon. I hope you are well. It's a bit chilly here. It's a bit grey. So I'm hoping to sort of lift the mood, lift the spirits with some gentle, mindful movement. We are going to be doing a mix of standing, sitting and lying down, but you can really fit things around you. So if you don't stand or if it's a struggle to stand, you can stay sitting the whole time. I will keep moving and showing the sort of different options. There's lots of adaptation, so I really want this to be as accessible as possible to as many people as possible. You might notice my cat is joining us today. So we'll see how long she stays. She's sometimes a little unpredictable, so she may just run off at some point. Hello, Jackie. Lovely to have you here. Hope you are keeping well. Hello, Irene. Shall we make a start? Have your feet a bit wider apart, sitting or standing, just so you feel you've got some steadiness. Place your hands in a prayer position. I'm just going to soften my knees a little bit, and then we're going to circle outwards. I'm not making really big circles. You can make them bigger if you want to. But what I would like to do is when your hands come together, I'd like to breathe in. And as they go apart, breathe out. Hello, Gillian. Lovely to have you. Hello, Simone. Lovely to have you. Oh, so nice to see regulars here. So you're inhaling as your hands come up and in. Who was that? So hello, Christine. Hello. Exhale as your arms go out. So this is the shorter movement, the inhale. And the exhale is the longer movement. A couple more. Last one. And then bring your feet into a parallel position. So your toes are pointing forwards. There's a bit of a gap between your feet. Soften your knees if you're standing. Wiggle and get right up onto your sit bones if you're sitting. I'm going to have my hand on my belly and my back. So we're going into pelvic tilts. Breathe in again. And then breathe out. And as you breathe out, you can imagine you're blowing through a straw, like you're blowing bubbles. A little tension onto your belly. And this area here starts to shorten, and we're going to tip a little back. And then we're going to tip forwards and breathe in. Breathing out, tipping towards yourself. Breathing in, tipping forwards. It's like this whole pelvis here is a bowl, and we tip this bowl back towards ourselves and then away from ourselves. Or if you're sitting down, same as the bowl tips towards you, spills onto your belly, tips away from you, spills onto the floor. Right, we've done our pelvic tilts. Now have a little wriggle and a shake out. And then we will take the face back a little and make the neck longer and turn side to side. And then come back to the center and tilt side to side. So that's ear towards shoulder and your face stays forwards. And then one side shoulder roll and the other. You can see I'm just making my stance a little wider so that a bit more of my body can rotate around as the shoulders have a roll. And then could you give your feet a little wipe, a little shuffle, a little rub to warm things up. And then we're going to have a little march just on the spot. So it might be that your heels are coming up, not your whole foot. Especially if you're sitting, it might be you're lifting your feet off the floor. Now could you make your legs wider? Keep the arms in. And now could you make your legs narrower and your arms wider? We're going to reverse it, legs wide. Arms in, really close, sort of crossing over. And now we're going to make it wider. at the top and narrow at the bottom. And then take it down. Take your legs wider apart. Feet out a little. And we're going to go side to side. And everything else is pretty upright if you're standing. If you're sitting, you might be leaning a little bit more forwards like that and taking your time, getting your leg out there. You could also hold onto the chair. That will keep you a little bit more upright and also keeps you a bit more stable, because sometimes if you lean too far forwards, it can get a bit topply. Now, as you're doing this, could you just check that your knee is going over about the centre of your toes? If you're sitting, it's easier to see. If you're standing, it can be a little hard. Now, my knee tends to go in a little bit here, so I'm really making an extra effort to make sure it's going over sort of about the toe that's next to my big toe. Right, I think I've got that angle now. So now I can concentrate on this half. So we could have an arm up. Oh, so that's a little up. So I'm not going too high. If you can go higher and closer to your ear and make a longer diagonal, you could do that. If that's not accessible to you, you could take your hand to your chest. See, my other hand staying on my legs just gives me a bit of extra stability. Might even try it a little wider. Keeping an eye on that knee going over at my second, third, take back the middle. And last one. And then we come back to the centre. Now I'm going to bring my legs in a little bit because I was quite wide. I know where I'm going next. Now we're going to lower ourselves down. Sitting is going to be almost the reverse. I'll show you standing first. So I'm going to take my arms out to the side for a bit of balance. And I'm lowering down, but my back stays upright. My knees going out over my toes. If I'm sitting, I'm going to have my hands on my thighs initially and push downwards and feel my spine lengthen, and I'm not as heavy on the chair, and then I let everything relax and sink down. So this is the reverse, as if the standing position goes down, the sitting position we come up. If you want a little bit more challenge in sitting, could take the arms, maybe put them here. And that gives you a little bit more challenge for the core. We're thinking about the core quite a lot in this session. The core stability whilst we change different parts, move things away. Keeping that core strong and still. Last one. And then let that go. Have a little wriggle, bring your legs in, have a little fidget. Right, next. Oh, let's go for a little twist around. So, if you're standing, let your feet move, let your hips move, let your arms move. Keep the arms small like that. You can make the arms much bigger like that. If you're sitting, you can keep the legs wider and slide. Or you can swish the hands around you like you're sat in a bubble bath or a jacuzzi. And then come back to the centre. We're going to give our wrists some rotations. We're going to get our feet to join in 1 foot at a time. So if you're standing, this all gets quite balancy. You might need to let go of the wrist and hold on to something as we rotate a foot. Now you could put your foot down. I'm going to bend that leg a little bit so I could have the foot down, or I could stand taller, keep my hips really even, move my leg maybe further away. It's definitely challenging. And then we'll do the other side. I find one part of my body gets more attention than the other mentally when I do this. My wrists, not as much as my ankle. And then come in. Right now, legs a little wider than your hips. We're going to send our hips back. So think about your bottom traveling backwards. It lowers down a little bit, but it's more about traveling back. And it's like I was aiming to shut one of these drawers with my bum. That sort of movement. If you're sitting, have your hands somewhere on your thighs, but not pushing down, just resting lightly, and your chest comes forwards. You push into the feet. There's resistance going between your floor, the foot and the floor. And next time you come forwards, could you stay forwards? Maybe not as far as you can go. And then we're going to take one hand and have a little swish around. Now, if you are standing, your bum stays still, but you move it at the waist. So if you're sitting, your bum stays still because it's against the chair. But if you're standing, it's not a sort of wiggly side to side like that. Bum stays still. His hand is sweeping around, then the other hand. And then bring both hands here. Now you've got a choice. You could come up straight. So if you've got any spinal issues like osteoporosis or osteopenia, you want to keep your spine straight. So push into your thighs and come up straight like that. The other option, if your spine's comfortable with a flex, is to pull your belly away from the floor, pull your chest away from the floor. Push into your hands to give you a little extra help and roll yourself up. A nice way to do a roll up with a bit of assistance, and then give your shoulders a roll. Right, next move we're going on. We're going to go into a little spinal movement. Now you can do this seated on a chair or seated on the floor with your legs long. So think which works best for you. I'm going to do a bit of both. If I was doing this in a chair, just while people get down to the floor, I'm going to sit at the front, sort of third half of my chair. And I'm just going to hold sort of lightly onto the sides of my legs, not right underneath because that will pull me forwards. I just want to sit really upright. And I'm going to use either my leggings or my legs for a bit of extra support. And then I'm going to do a little pelvic tilt back, a little roll back, and then come up. And I'm letting the rest of my body go a little bit back and then up. Could be really small. So if you've got any low back issues, you don't find this comfortable, just tiny little pelvic tilts with the security of your hands underneath. If you are on the floor, I'm just about to change positions. It's the same sort of thing, but your legs are going to be in a slightly different position. So they're bent, and we tend to sort of sit like this. I want your spine really upright. So hands under the legs and get right up onto your sit bones. Your legs can be out to the side if that's more comfortable. And then we're going to do that little rolling back on our bum. And then rolling up. Rolling back on our bum. And rolling up. One more like this. Next one's different. Now we're going to go straight back. So no rolling under, just a little. And you've got your arms there to help you. They could take a lot of this effort. Or you could start to let go or not hold on so tightly. Just check in with your jaw and your neck and your shoulders that they're not getting really tight and up here. Come up, ease off a little bit, maybe let the legs go long. We're going to take it all the way down to the floor. If you like, if you're already sitting, if it's appropriate for your back to curve down like this all the way, maybe with a little help from your arms, you could do that. I wouldn't do that for osteoporosis or osteopenia because there's a little bit of strain there. I think I would go on my side and then roll back. If you're sitting, get yourself comfy in your chair. I'm just going to take you all the way down. I can't believe that my cat has stayed here all the time, really, really well behaved. I could swear she was going to do something a bit saucy, but she's been very good. Right, we're going to be lying down on our backs with our legs bent, feet on the floor, head maybe on a cushion or a folded towel. something that gives your head some support if you need it. Not everybody does. And so when you lie down, you're naturally just looking up towards the ceiling. If you're sitting comfortably on your chair, have a little fidget. And then we're going to have a focus on going sort of round in a circle. So if you're lying down, you can imagine a tray, a round tray with an edge and a marble going right around the very edge of that tray. If you are sitting upright, I want you to imagine a really slow, delicate washing machine cycle circling around that way. I like to imagine coloured scarves, like chiffon scarves, maybe rainbow colours, all going around, because it just gives me a mental image that I can tune into. But to be honest, I find sensation better than imagery. So as I'm doing this move, I'm really concentrating on that circle feeling I'm getting between the back of my pelvis and the mat. So resting my hands here, I get some movement too. Actually, I could take my arms out to the side and just notice the contact and the change. And it keeps changing because it's circular motion between the back of my pelvis and the floor. Let's change. So we go the other way. Take your time. It can take a little while. It can be a bit sticky. And then just the last one. And then just let that rest and settle. Bring your arms in by your side. If you're sitting, go to the front third of your chair. Legs are parallel. If you're not sure, you can bring your legs together. Take your heels out to the side, toes forwards, let your knees part. Just want to see, I think I need to answer there. Oh, someone new is saying hi, I think. We're going to do a little leg slide. So we'll take a breath in to start. Going to keep the centre, as your belly, your back, hips, all that really still. As you breathe out, slide one leg away to as long as it will go in the position you're in. And then breathe in and slide it back. And the other side. And we'll do that another time, each side. Now we're going to bring in little knee sway. So one side has a little sway away from that center line, and then it comes back. And the other side's going to have a little sway. And then we're going to do that slide away. Doing these movements with the breath, the exhale, as I move away. So it might be moving away like these leg slides, or moving away from this center. And we could add some arms in. So we have our arms up to the ceiling. And then as the leg slides away, the opposite arm slides back. And then we're going to have a knee sway and the opposite arm go outwards. Everything's got to stay still in the center. And then we're doing opposite arm to leg away. And then out to the sides. We'll repeat. What was I doing next? A little sway out, or I can't remember. So I think we'll do a leg slide and arm away. And then that little sway out to the side. I'm going to do the last one seated, just a demo, but keep going if you're lying down. So trying to keep everything in your back and your belly and your hips really still. And then just have a little sway side to side. Well done. Oh, there's a lot of stability going on there, holding all that together as everything else moves around. Right, next position we're going to go into. If you're lying down, we're going to go into a low bridge. If you're sitting, we've got options actually. We've got options. You could go into the pelvic tilt. You could also use your fists and have a little lift of yourself. So that's with my bum firmly on the seat. If you've got a bit more strength in your arms and your wrists, you can come further forwards. Now I'm on quite a low thing here, and you need a really stable surface, not anything slippy, certainly not a chair with wheels. And here we could lower down a little and then come up. So that's a little bit more of an arm exercise, or you could do a little pelvic tilt here, and then settle down. Pelvic tilt and lower down. So it becomes much more upper body focused. But if that's really not comfortable for you, I'd like to do pelvic tilt and then maybe a circle, like a little hula hoop circle. Lying down. So a low bridge. I'm going to move my cushion out of the way. So we're going to do a pelvic tilt and then start to raise the hips and lower down. Next one the same, but we're going to hold it a little longer. I'm just wriggling and getting everything, almost like I'm tucking my corners in on a bed, tucking my shoulders in, and pressing down a little bit more into my feet this time. And rolling back down. Now on this next one, I'm going to put a bit more instability in, but I want to keep this area, the pelvis as it's raised, as still as I can. So pelvic tilt coming up. Right, I'm trying to be as still as I can now. So I'm going to do things with my feet. I might lift the front of my foot up. Heels stay down. Or I could lift one heel and then the other. Notice this area is staying really still. So it's not doing that. It's not wiggling. It's staying really still. Bit of a challenge going on. Or you could raise a leg up. Could be to a tabletop or to the ceiling. And then the other side. Arms are helping a little bit here. And then come down. And then everybody have a little sway side to side. So we're going to repeat that. If you're sitting, I would do those foot movements in between doing your pelvic tilts. So we'll do our pelvic tilt, our raise into a bridge if you're lying down. This time I'm going to take my arms off the floor. They could be up or they could be onto your chest. I think I'm going to go onto my chest. We could do the heels up and down. We could do the foot up and down. We could, I feel like I need my arms on the floor, lift a leg. That's a tabletop style lift. Or lift and go right up. I actually find that in some ways easier. And then roll down and sway. Let your legs get out and in. Just something soft that feels nice for you. So some people like to bring their legs into their chest. If you're sitting, you might want to bring your chest closer to your legs or give yourself a hug. Right, the next place we're going to go is onto our fronts. If you're sitting, the position I'd like you to go into, we're going to take our hands together over our head and then bring our arms down, have a proud chest forwards. So the arms go above our head and then we bring our arms down to that sort of goal pose position and squeeze down a little more, like you're squeezing something under your arms. Have a break after you've done a few because the shoulders might get a bit achy. Otherwise, we're going onto our front. I don't tend to use a cushion under my head. I'm going to have my forehead directly on the floor, but if you would like a bit of a cushion, if that's better for you like that, you can do. Arms out to the side in this sort of goalpost position. Now, it doesn't have to look exactly like that. I'd like you to adapt it for your shoulders. So if it's in a bit or further back, we don't want it to be really uncomfortable. We're not going to press through the arms, very light contact. Legs reach away. There's a little bit of tension to my belly. You can see I'm having a little sway side to side, just to wake that area up a little bit. So it's not just flopping. I'm bringing a bit of tension, like I'm trying to bring my belly off the floor. And then I'm going to lift my nose and my breastbone away from the floor. Keep the gaze straight down. And then take it back down. Take a breath in. As you breathe out, roll your shoulders down. Lift your head and your chest away. Keep the gaze down. And go back down. Have a little sway in between. Breath in. Breath out. Going to lift the chest up. Nose away from the floor. Gaze is down. And then take it down again. Have a little sway to ease off, especially for the lower back. Going to go one more time. Legs are stretching away. They're definitely pressing into the floor. Breath in. Breathing out. Roll your shoulders. That roll helps to initiate the lift a little bit. Lifting the chest, lifting the head away. Gazing down. Keeping that pressure very light under the hands and arms. And then take it down. Put a hand under your head. Have a good wiggle side to side. Now we've done the upper body. You're going to do something for our lower body. If you're seated, it's going to be slightly different. I'll show in a second. For lying down, forehead on the hands. Or if your cushion's there, you could use that. So we're not going to lift the head and chest. But we're going to lengthen and lift the leg. So it's more about the lengthening than lifting. So lengthen first, slide it longer on the floor and then lift. Slide it long on the floor and then lift. If you're sitting, come to the very edge of your seat. So you're on that front third. And we're going to tap back. And then lengthen forwards with the toes upwards. So we tap back, the toes are tucked underneath. And then lengthen forwards with the toes upwards, coming towards your knees. Last two, so one each side. And then could you bend your legs if you're lying down and flatten your feet and just do a little side to side sway, a bit like windscreen wipers. You could widen your legs a little bit if you find that more comfortable. And if you're sitting, a little side to side sway. And then we're going to push back or go onto your side and bring yourself to seated. And when you're there, just bring yourself up tall. Give me a little neck circle. A small twist side to side, just from one leg to the other, or to the floor or the seat. Keeping really tall. Back to the center, breath in, bring the shoulders up. And let them melt down. And one more. And then take your palms out, scoop up the air, bring your hands together, bring them into your chest. We are all done for our first March session. I shall see you next week. I'm hoping to see more sun, more spring. Bring it on. See you soon.